Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Whitney and I channel divine messages to raise the collective consciousness. So normally I would go in with the tarot cards, but I actually have a full transmission for you, kind of like a part two from the last message. If you guys watched the last video, towards the end, Spirit gave me this song. It kind of came in at the last minute. It's Jennifer Hudson's Spotlight. And I didn't remember what that song was even about. Like, I'd heard it before, it was in my frame of reference. But then I went and looked it up, and then I got the full play by play for the full transmission. So I want to give it to you because I feel like there's a group of you out there who are currently going through this. It's kind of a relationship reading, but kind of not. It's more about you, as most of these readings that I do are. But in the song, she says, I don't like living under your spotlight just because you think I might find somebody worthy, right? And then I got this image, this impression of the King of Pentacles in the tarot, right? So Spirit will talk to me through the archetypes in the tarot. And the King of Pentacles represents sort of this stable, financially doing well, wealthy, sometimes a boss, a business owner type of figure. Could also be a husband, a wife, a a mom, a dad. They've got some authority, but mostly they've got stability. So they've got this energy of stability around them. So it doesn't matter the gender. It could be male, female. Take it how it resonates. This person is or has been sort of this stable energy or representative of that in your life. And this person has a significant amount of shadow work that they need to do, right? So some of them are very slow to doing the shadow work. Others of them are flat out not doing it. They're like running from it. They're avoiding it like the plague. And it's starting to creep into the relationship in a negative way. It may have already been kind of in the relationship, but it's this sense that it's like kind of holding you back in a certain way. And I know that this can kind of be a sensitive thing for certain people, especially if it's a partner. It's like, okay, how do I navigate that? What do I do with that? This is terrifying. This isn't a message or a reading about, oh, you need to kick that person to the curb and dump them. They're no good. This person is afraid. That's the way that Spirit has made me feel. It's like they see what it is that Spirit is doing in you. It's already been in you, really. The Queen of Wands, the Star card, these type of magnetic, um, intuitive, vibrant, vivacious, even a sexual power for some of you that just comes through your energy. And especially in this season, it is really kind of you got it. It's coming through. And that even freaks this person out even more. Um, I'm not seeing them as like abusive in a big way or aggressive, but it just feels like kind of a covert way of maybe even manipulating the situation, or being so biased within themselves that maybe the advice that they give you, or just, you know, how they choose to maneuver with you in the relationship, it's hard for them to honor the fullness of the power that you're walking in, and then however that ends up playing out. So Spirit wants you to know all of this about them, not just to get into like their not to get into their business, but more to remind you to walk in the recognition of who you are, and continue to walk in that, and continue to see that for what it is. It's like you are looking at, in the mirror, and you're seeing your reflection, and it's like, yeah, this is who God called me to be in this life. These are the spiritual gifts that I have. This is how I'm going to be using it in this lifetime. And and feeling more empowered and more bold in that, right? The other piece of the message is like, some of you may be unconsciously kind of leaking out or draining out energy towards this other person. There's someone you really care about, or someone you see a lot of potential in, that you may be kind of trying to lift them in the energy so that they can come into the fullness of who they are. And while that may seem like a really caring thing to do, Spirit's saying that that's actually energy that is intended to be used for your own upliftment. And the more that you lift in the energy of who it is that God has called you to be, and like that embodiment process, that's actually how you're going to help them. That's actually how, I should say, rephrase, that's the best possible chance you have of helping them, right? Because really, we all have free will. So they could choose to start tackling their shadow work, or they could say, you know what, this freaks me out. I don't know what I'm going to find. What if I'm not really worthy? And really just, I can't do it. And, but if you are really still in the space of trying to lift them up along with you, it's this feeling of like that's the enabling part, right? And so whatever fixture of stability they are in your life, it's like you guys are both kind of um taking from one another's energy in a way. I guess we could use the word codependency. I really don't want to label it, but it kind of is that energy where you're being called into this new level of independence, this new level. It's spiritual energy independence, it's identity work independence. There may even be some financial, like tangible security aspects of your independence that you're being called into. I feel like it's all of it. um, and they have the exact opportunity to uplift all of that within their own life, their own energy too. So they're not in a victim space. You know what I mean? It might feel like they are sometimes, but they're not. They have this opportunity to grow. And Spirit wants to remind you, just like you did, you know what I mean? Like just like you put in the time and the effort and, those sleepless nights and taking a chance on you, and maybe you went to therapy, maybe you got in with a spiritual healer, maybe you did Reiki, like whatever it was, the things that you have been, it's like staying on this course. And that's why you're showing up as the Queen of Wands. That's why you're showing up as the Star card. It's so powerful for you. So Spirit says, also is saying, be careful, be mindful, like as you're reflecting on this, acknowledging the fullness of your power in relationship to this other person. Be careful of getting caught up in the negative what ifs. The negative what ifs of like, oh, if I did acknowledge my full power here, if I did really step into this, what's going to happen to my life? What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to, am I going to lose a sense of security? There's so much of this that is a faith walk and a faith journey, that in spirit, if you're following that path as you're being led, you're going to be taken care of. Like that is the message. You're going to be taken care of. It's walking by faith and not by sight for so many of the collective right now, right? We're all in a sense going to higher levels with this type of energy, right? So don't overthink the future outcomes. But Spirit wanted to make you aware of this. I'd be curious to know how many people this is like your story with this individual. They're not a bad person. I just think they need to start diving into more of their own shadow work and understanding like that's just a part of the journey here as a human on the earth as we ascend and become more conscious, more and more and more. So it'll be kind of a shorter message today. I'm still going to upload another tarot reading, but I definitely wanted to get this message out to those of you who really need to hear it and need to kind of reflect on and be aware of what may be going on in the dynamic of you and this other individual. Okay, so in closing, you know what's best for your life. This isn't a reading trying to tell you what to do in terms of should I stay, should I go? It's not really that. It's more of like, okay, I need to reposition myself and get refocused and really reflect on what am I allowing to happen in the energy of myself and this other person. Also, I always say this like, oh, we're coming to an end and then there's more. So let me just throw this on the end. Um, a reminder that where you're going as you continue to honor who it is that God has called you to be, the faith and the trust in that, that's a part of this actually coming to fruition, right? Not trying to over control or over predict, but there's a promise that's attached to this where you are seeing the fruits, like the fruits of your labor around. And you've been on a journey and a path to ascend and grow your consciousness. So keep going. It's like, why not keep going and just really fully step out there and recognize who the hell you were called to be, and don't worry about the aftermath or the byproducts of that. Know that as you raise your consciousness, it's like it really is more of a security at that. You have more of a security. You have more of a knowing. It's like you're at a different level, spiritual ground. So think about even the things you would normally worry about when you're ascending and understanding things at that level. You're not really going to be worried about as many of those things. It's like a different and higher perspective. Okay, so I'm definitely going to leave it there now. I think everything has been said. As usual, I love you and I will see you in the next video.